You are listening to the global network of podcasters dedicated to the pharmacy profession. Welcome to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
Welcome to This Week in Pharmacy, and what a week it's been. It is what is today? The 14th already? The 14th of March. It's 2025, and I'm telling you, it's going a little fast already. This is a fast first 3 months, our first quarter. I hope your week has been good. Mine's been spectacular. Things that are happening in the pharmacy industry is positive stuff, and we're going to get into that. And how technology is really starting to make even bigger impacts than what I remember when I was in pharmacy 20 years ago. And it makes me think of what the next phase is, especially with artificial intelligence, with technology vendors becoming a little bit more keen, and then the future of staffing, the future of how staff will work, what type of staff versus your pharmacist, your primary staff, your supportive staff with your technicians. And then we talk about administration, we talk about marketing staff, we talk about things like, tying in social media. I was talking to several colleagues that are in content development, and the element of authenticity is going to become much more important as we enter an age that is so intensive with artificial intelligence. And while we use artificial intelligence at our publication, at RxPR and Pharmacy Podcast Network, there's an element about authenticity that we will never stop with, and the combination of enhancing what we do with AI. But today's subject is pretty important, and that is your staffing, the resources you have, the shortages that we're going through. Not sure if you knew this, and I'm sure if you do know this, you're in the pharmacy industry, but we have staffing shortages right now. It's a significant issue for the pharmacy industry, struggling to fill very key positions, our pharmacy technicians, some of our administrative work, the burnout that people have gone through. This was caused initially by the pandemic and the surge of people that were needed. Then all of a sudden we kind of get back, but we go through a lot of this burnout and stress and people being stressed. And so I always think, we're talking about technology, we're talking about AI. Let's talk about staffing. And so today's guest, without any further ado, is Donnie with PharmaStaff. He is the Vice President of Operations over at PharmaStaff. Donnie, welcome to TWIRx. Welcome to This Week in Pharmacy.
Thank you so much, Todd.
All right. So staffing is definitely an issue. There was an article that came out in the Pharmaceutical Journal just in February, and it dug down into some evidence-based reference and getting into how this impacts people, how it impacts communities, where pharmacist staff and pharmacy technician staff is needed now more than ever. But extremely well with the business that you've created, what kind of opportunity there is to step in and to help different sectors of pharmacy, whether we're talking about community, specialty, long-term care, compounding, it really doesn't matter. You guys have really dialed into this. Share with our listeners a little bit about PharmaStaff and yourself and what your mission is.
Sure. So my name is Donnie. I'm one of the vice presidents of operation at PharmaStaff. We've initially started as a courier company, as a courier service company in Rx to Go in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. We started over 10 years ago. From the beginning, we've been exclusively working in the healthcare industry, and this specialization really helped us to grow and build a solid reputation in the areas that we serve. Later on, we've evolved to a software company that is now Rx for Route. It's a digital solution for medication deliveries for pharmacies. The main vision was to provide pharmacies nationwide with a high-class digital system that would tackle all medication delivery challenges. right? When it comes to a pharma staff, it was originally designed as a custom solution that we didn't have that big of idea at the beginning. It was a custom solution for our current client base for Rx to go and Rx for route. It's an outsourcing solution for any administrative tasks. And it's not it's obvious that the staffing has a significant shortage, not only in the healthcare industry, but across all the industries as well. The pharmacies we work with have been experiencing the same issue, especially post-pandemic world, right? Where there's a huge need for additional administrative staff. And we had our internal team that was helping our current clients with many of the tasks that they had at that time. Many of the ones that were patient service providers, outreach, billing, and pretty much data entry, any other tasks. At the end, we just wanted to do it at the discount rate, helping our clients, our pharmacies, increasing their return on investment and increasing the revenue without adding anything significantly on top.
I love this. I know that this is a major struggle that our pharmacies are facing. We're talking about health systems, community pharmacies, specialty compounders. So dial in and tell us what businesses, what sectors of pharmacy would you say your strength is in, and also the advancement of your business. Where else are you going to be going in the pharmacy sector?
With pharma staff, as of now, any pharmacy would be considered as our future client. If you own a pharmacy or you operate in a pharmacy, pharma staff would definitely help you in all the ways. There's absolutely, there's pretty much any pharmacy would be our potential client because we can help with anything. We're not limited to any of the tasks such as just the phone calls or just the data entry or just the insurance verifications. Think of it as an employee would work for you remotely, right? Pretty much you're able to tell them anything that needs to be done for your own pharmacy at a discount rate, and sometimes even at a better quality, if not at the same quality that your pharmacy was doing it before.
And Donnie, you're dialing into pharmacy-specific needs. So you already are thinking of back-end office help and accounting, customer service, marketing, social media. Like, kind of list out some of the examples of how you're helping pharmacy and what type of pharmacy that was.
So most of the tasks that we help pharmacies with is data entry, insurance verifications, customer service. So full customer service, inbound and outbound calls can be outsourced to us. With not only you would see the difference financially by outsourcing it to us, but also with the quality of the job getting that at much higher rate. Because all of our team is specifically trained and designed for a customer service, if it's a customer service, or a data entry, if it's a data entry. We are familiar with your current PMS systems. Does not matter what it is, PrimaRx, Pioneer, Liberty. We work with all PMS systems. We're able to connect. We have dedicated people that are trained for years and has been working at the similar positions that would be able to assist you with any of the current positions that you need.
This is great. So let's talk about return on investment. This is pretty important. I see what you're saying about the quality of the individual, and the reason is because your team is refining existing talent, existing employees, but you're also recruiting new talent, and you're teaching them the processes that have helped you already be successful. So the clients that you already have, they are feeling the success, they're seeing the success, they're also able to scale faster. And so talk to us about return on investment with clients that are working with pharma staff.
So also now, pharma staff shows somewhere between 4 to 7, 8 times return on investment on a monthly basis. Again, it's all based on what staff is actually doing. Are they patient outreach? Are they provider outreach? Are they handling inbound calls, outbound calls? The ROI fluctuates based on the baseline, and as I mentioned, it's 4 to 8 times. So It is a substantial ROI. When you look at not only the cost saving, but we're also eliminating the top line spend, but we also increasing, but while also increasing the bottom line output as well.
That's great. So I also understand from conversations that you and I have had that you're able to do other things other than the beyond addressing the staffing challenges. How other ways has pharma staff been helping clients?
So the next biggest problem in the industry is obviously keeping the employees, right? The current turnaround rate in the country is about 25% between 6 to 9 months. Practically speaking, pharmacies go through employees vetting process, conducting the interviews, spending months on onboarding and training, and then employee decides to leave. And what happens after? The company has to go through the same process again and again. And then pharmacy, pharmacy would have no other option than to spend thousands of dollars on training, vetting, interviewing, so doing the same process again and again, every 6 to 9 months. Outsourcing in this day would just be a biggest relief in the recruitment overheads. The hiring process, our hiring process, takes up to 2 days. And even if the restaffing is required, it can be just done within 48 hours upon the request. Also, the outsourcing is the best way to deal with the seasonal workflow, whether it's a flu season, vacation period, or just in general busy period, or in general pharmacy is growing, and you need any additional help for just a few months. We're able to help you with that as well.
Excellent. So I'm also thinking of just general costs and certification and training and onboarding. Kind of go into why a pharmacy owner would say, operations person would say, hey, I should outsource instead of hiring internally.
So number one, obviously, it's the cost, right? We would reduce your payroll for up to 78%, eliminating the amount of resources spent on internal hours used on sourcing, training, and onboarding. And the hourly wage for a representative will be approximately 4 times less. So you would pay us to do the same job at a better quality than someone in person internally 4 times less, up to on average. Obviously, depending on what position are we filling.
Yep.
Also, certification. The certification of the outsourced staff lies exclusively on us, which automatically eliminates all the overheads for the clients. And one of last but not the least, the training and the onboarding. We would analyze your workflow. We would take whatever it takes to train your people that would work for you outsourced, and we can also send out one person. We could also send out a person to learn from your pharmacy on site. If needed, we can also do an online training process as well.
So it's important to have partnerships with organizations that are key to the pharmacies that are out there. And we're talking about technology vendors. We're talking about wholesale vendors and integration people, custom software people. You've established some key partnerships, especially with those pharmacy management systems. You've already mentioned some of them, but you were talking to me about Pioneer and PrimeRx, also Liberty, McKesson, and SweetRx. Pharmacy Podcast Network already works with PrimeRx. That's a fabulous system. And there's other ones that we're working with that we're definitely going to introduce you to. But talk to us about strategic partnerships that kind of give the pharma staff advantage from a competitor's perspective.
So the main difference between pharma staff and any other outsourcing providers in the market that you might meet is that we are specifically, exclusively focused on pharmacies and healthcare providers. We don't help in any other industry. Where we have not been in any other industry. We've been at the pharmaceutical, at healthcare industry for over 10 years. We understand the whole struggle. We work with the pharmacies. We talk to them on a daily basis, right? The main difference is pharma staff is specifically designed for the healthcare industries. We've established the official partnership with many of the PMS systems, as I mentioned earlier, Pioneer, PrimeRx, Liberty, McKesson, TWIRx. And our staff is aware of the pharmacy's needs, business operation, and processes as they get continuously trained before starting to work for the pharmacy. Another point is we have to offer, we have one of the most affordable rates on the market. Taxes, insurance, equipment, any additional employment costs are covered by us. Once again, pharmacy can hire for a specific period of time without being tied up to anything. It's month-to-month contract. We don't have to tie you up with anything. We're so assured that you would love once you would try it out, once you see that we don't need to tie you up with anything. We have dealt with many of the custom requests, starting from prescription refills, patients and vendors outreach, co-payments, billing, payrolls, plenty of other administrative tasks. For example, we have worked with the pharmacy, and they shared how they've been taking half of the day responding to the patient's calls, text messages, not being able to focus more on the important tasks as they should. Delegating these requests help them not only prioritize the medication management, live patient care, but also in general optimize their current workflow and current processes. And this can happen to any pharmacy. We can come in, evaluate the existing internal workflow, and show you how can we fit in and mimic what your present workforce is doing at a reduced cost.
That makes sense. I've thought a lot about this because I want to see pharmacies succeeding. I know the pressures that are on our pharmacies today. A lot of that ties back to PBM reform and how they're getting paid. However, there are new needs that are going to be out there. And I know you know this, Donnie, but the expansion of long-term care at home and monitoring patients and gathering data and doing reporting, when that increases, if a pharmacy had someone on the inside of their administration team that could do a lot of that for them, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence, I could definitely see it increasing and accelerating. So talk to us what it looks like. What's the process to get started with pharma staff? How's it work?
So we would manage an internal outsourcing team that we would vet each candidate before presenting it to the pharmacy. They work internally with our umbrella companies as a representative at some level. So these candidates won't just be vetted, but they would be really comfortable in the medical aspect of the pharmacy's vertical. After that, we would provide a pool of talent pool for a interview for the pharmacy. So if they're looking for 5 representatives or 5 team members, we would actually present them with 10 or 15, so they can select the best ones. Later on, we would move on to a training based on the client's needs. And then we would represent those reps back to the client, making sure that they perform specifically at the rate or at the work that was agreed upon. In addition, we also have tons of the tracking to audit each one of the representatives on daily or even hourly basis. We would provide a dashboard where they can listen to any of the recordings or pretty much see their full screen, have full control over their people.
All right. Well, we're excited to be working with you, Donnie, and the RX4Route team, as well as the pharma staff team. We're going to be partnered up for some interviews at the APHA in Tennessee, coming up very soon in Nashville. That's the APHA 2025 annual meeting and exposition, Nashville, March 21st through 24th. Come visit the Pharmacy Podcast Network. Give us your quote of how you think pharmacy is changing, the impact of digital health and technology. We're going to have some disease state discussions, specific presentations and podcast content. Excited to be working with your team, pharma staff, Donnie, and we look forward to spending some time with you in Nashville.
Look forward as well. Thank you so much, Todd.
All right, we'll be right back. Just hang on, and we're going to have a quick commercial from our sponsor, and we'll be back with more of This Week in Pharmacy.
ICON is the leader in tabletop pharmacy automation, delivering innovative solutions that enhance accuracy, efficiency, and compliance in medication dispensing. ICON's visual precision counting technology eliminates the need for manual pill counting, reducing human error and improving workflow. ICON ensures precise medication counts, minimizing overfills, underfills, and financial losses due to miscounts. Unlike traditional counting machines, ICON captures an image of every transaction, providing verifiable accuracy and helping pharmacies maintain compliance with industry regulations. RxSafe, known for its advanced pharmacy automation systems, enhances operational efficiency with solutions like RapidPackRx and RapidCardRx, which streamline adherence packaging. These automated systems allow pharmacies to provide multi-dose and single-dose packaging, ensuring patients receive their medications accurately and on time. By integrating automation, pharmacies can reduce labor-intensive tasks, improve inventory management, eliminate waste, and increase patient safety. Together, ICON and RxSafe are transforming pharmacy operations by reducing workload, improving compliance, and enhancing patient care. As labor shortages and regulatory pressures grow, automation is no longer a luxury but a necessity. Pharmacies that adopt these technologies can operate more efficiently, reduce dispensing errors, and focus more on patient engagement, reinforcing their role as essential healthcare providers in an evolving industry.
Hey, welcome to This Week in Pharmacy. We are back talking about the future of our profession, constantly talking about different things. And today, it's really important to think about what happens to community pharmacy if they're not thriving is more pharmacy deserts. And there's so many components in helping that to not happen. Of course, it draws back to reimbursement and how a pharmacy gets paid. But there are other strategies to help independent community pharmacies leverage technology, leverage other partners, and how that becomes evident in those partners' strategies and services and even technology. And we even talk about software systems that are super efficient for independent community pharmacy. Today, we're going to be talking about partnering with a unique dosage form organization in generics supplier, FH2 Pharma. And when we return, we're going to jump into a discussion with Matt Bouchard, and we'll be back on This Week in Pharmacy. In today's fast-paced pharmaceutical landscape, having a reliable partner is crucial for the success of independent and specialty pharmacies. That's where FH2 Pharma comes in. What sets FH2 Pharma apart? Every product they offer is proudly manufactured in the United States, ensuring top-notch quality and reliability. This commitment means pharmacies can depend on a predictable product supply, even amidst market fluctuations. Imagine reducing margin loss prescriptions by offering unique dosages at improved margins. With FH2 Pharma, this isn't just a possibility, it's a reality. FH2 Pharma, your trusted partner for unique dosage formulations of generics, ensuring your pharmacy thrives in today's competitive market. Learn more at fh2pharma.net. That's fh2pharma.net. Tell them you learned about FH2 Pharma on the Pharmacy Podcast Network. Hey, I'm here with Matt Bouchard from FH2. Matt, welcome to This Week in Pharmacy.
Thanks, Tom. Happy to be with you.
All right. So, Matt, I'm excited about understanding what FH2 Pharma is doing. You're going to be presenting yourselves and your organizations at the Profit Summit 2025 in Dallas. That's coming up pretty quickly. At the Profit Summit, it's March 23rd through 24th. When I learned about the organization from Bruce Nealon, and you're actually going to be doing another presentation, a show with him, it was very unique. You're 100% sourced from the United States. Everything that's here and is made is in the country. That gives me comfort as a consumer of where those generics are coming from and how things are manufactured. But give us an overview of yourself, Matt, and FH2 Pharma.
Sure, thanks. I'll be happy to. I personally am a pharmacist. I've been at my 29th year anniversary this year as a licensed pharmacist. Been licensed in as many as 13 states at one point. And so I've seen quite a bit of change, and very excited to have this opportunity with FH2 Pharma. Been with the company for about 5 years now. We were established in 2018 by a couple of longstanding thought leaders in the pharma industry. And the goal was to provide some products and some opportunities for the independent pharmacy to not only be a viable or a really good source for their patients for some unique medication dosages, but to also provide some unique opportunities for the pharmacies themselves that, as we know, struggle with the various changes and the reimbursement pinching that they're seeing these days. When I say unique dose, we don't have products that are unique to a pharmacy, but the actual milligram strengths slightly different than the norms that the pharmacies are familiar with. We currently have 2 different lines of products. One's a pain-related medication, and the other are GI-related medications. We do have a third line, hopefully we're going to see later this year, in the neurology space. So we're very excited about that as well. And like you mentioned, they're all made here in the U.S. We use contract manufacturers that are long established here in the U.S.
You have a low dose generic that is for pain management. Kind of go into the opportunities there for pharmacies to educate not only their patients that are dealing with certain types of pain, but also the physicians that are out there in the communities.
Exactly. Yeah, we were. This was actually our first product when we stepped into the manufacturing world, and it is an oxycodone acetaminophen oral tablet that is 2.5 milligrams of the oxycodone with 300 milligrams of acetaminophen. The nice aspect of this product is that it is the only source of a 2.5 milligram oxycodone oral tablet currently available in the marketplace. What that does allow for is a better transition for a physician who is looking to start a patient on a pain medication, or vice versa, slowly tapering somebody off a pain medication who potentially no longer needs it. Provides a kind of an integral middle step that was lacking previously, which offers a lower MME per dose for the doctor to choose when potentially establishing a patient for the first time who is looking to either need pain management or, again, is working very hard to reduce their current load. And so having this option, we felt, was just a very responsible action to take on the part of really any manufacturer as we look at the struggles, on both sides of the wall between physicians and patients in terms of, having safe options, but effective, products for a patient that, does need some level of pain relief. And again, to kind of harken back on the fact that these are U.S. made, it'll be a very consistent product from batch to batch. Why, as a practicing pharmacist, somebody who's been in retail pharmacy for 25 of his 29 years as a licensed pharmacist, the ability to offer both the physician and the patient a very streamlined source of product that they can be confident on from month to month fill, I think aids of course, both the patient, they have some confidence in what they're getting, but also the physician who is faced with a patient on many occasions who can come in and say, hey, you know what, I don't feel like my prescription worked as well this month. And now the doctor doesn't have to think about, okay, well, which product did you get? Who made this particular product this month? Was it a bad batch? Was it something that's been around for too long? Many questions that the physician has to answer when a patient is simply reaching out for some better relief. And, in this particular case, the doctor can feel confident that, yes, they have a consistent dose. If the patient is experiencing and needing more pain relief, then I can feel good about giving that patient a increased dose to say, yes, it sounds like we're getting some tolerance developed here, and the pain is escalating. I'm okay with raising that dose rather than questioning whether or not the supply they had just wasn't adequate and did not meet their standards.
That's great. And I understand from talking to so many pharmacists who dial into pain management that the key word of what you said was options. Options for the physician and the patient and the pharmacist to work together to dial into what that patient is facing and experiencing in pain. And boy, that's subjective. Goodness gracious, that's very specific to the individual. So having additional options, that's important. And patients may not realize this is even available. So that's where the community pharmacy, the pharmacist that's out there is going to become it's the number one educator for medication management, obviously.
Exactly. Yep. And, we do work to drive some sales demand around this particular strength by educating physicians in various markets to, again, just get that word out, because we do feel it's an extremely valuable option for the patient. And that is also why, we increase that line to include 5, 7.5, and 10 milligram oxycodone with, again, 300 milligrams of acetaminophen, so that the patient can feel confident with an increase, knowing that, hey, I'm continuing with this product that I'm already trusting, already know where it's coming from, and already having success with, but needing more to control the pain that they're experiencing. And so we do have the full line now for that product as well.
That's wonderful. It's a 2.5 milligram, a 7.5 milligram, a 10 milligram, and a 5 milligram, all with 300 milligrams of the acetaminophen tablets together. So that's creative, and like you said, it's huge options, especially if you're titrating or moving down in dosing or up in dosing. You're able to kind of creep along and really dial into what the patient's experiencing.
Yep.
All right. So what about this peptic ulcer medication that you're also having for to treat chronic severe drooling caused by certain neurological disorders?
Yep. So we have got a glycopyrrolate. Again, this is not a new or unique product to the marketplace, but is a unique dosage. We offer a 1.5 milligram tablet, which again, allows for more individualization and customization of that dose for the patient. So we're excited about that product as well. And then not long after that, we introduced the ursodiol, which is for the prevention of gallstones in patients experiencing rapid weight loss. Obviously, big news these days with the spread of the weight loss products and the goal in many areas of controlling weight and reducing that issue of weight gain. And so, as a patient is transition to a GLP-1 medication, the many choices that are out there, our product in a 200 and 400 milligram dose are perfect add-ons for that patient who is going to experience rapid weight loss with the addition of those other prescriptions that they would be taking. It's a silent problem. Most people don't know there's any issues with the creation of gallstones until it's too late. Therefore, at that point, requiring surgery or other corrective measures. This ursodiol, taken in conjunction with the GLP-1s right from the get-go, puts a great or offers a great opportunity to prevent those types of complications as they are successful with their weight loss.
That is great news, and that's something that's so hot all over the press. The GLP-1s is a craze, and having something else there as an option. Once again, patients do not know what they do not know, so it's up to the pharmacist to educate. So, thank you for mentioning that, Matt.
Yeah, we're excited about that. Like I said, especially around the industry and the way it's progressing, and the opportunities that many patients have to attack a weight loss issue that they're experiencing. And the last thing you want to do is experience an increase in health because you're losing weight, but then have this auxiliary side effect or issue rear its ugly head when all you're trying to do is get healthy.
Absolutely. So you're also assisting specialty pharmacies that are out there in instances where they're dealing with patients on a major primary medication, but then there's ancillary opportunities that you're bringing to those specialty pharmacies as well.
Exactly. Yep. And, we offer great partnering opportunities, which, come with it some very special pricing discounts, which, again, makes it or gives an opportunity to the pharmacies to, maintain and even grow, as they face the challenges of running a pharmacy in today's world.
All right. So if you're listening and you want to reach out to Matt and talk with him and the team, please go to FH2Pharma.net. Once again, that's FH2Pharma.net. Headed to Dallas for the Profit Summit Live. You've been to the Profit Summit before, Matt?
Yes, yep. We attended last year as well, so this will be our second visit. And one of the things that we're excited about this year is we're going to have a couple of pharmacy owners, join us at the booth who have been working with our program for multiple years now. And they'll be, ready and willing and very eager to answer your questions and help you understand what it's meant to them to partner with us and how important and that they feel it is for any independent pharmacy out there to have opportunities like this. And so they're excited to be joining us as well. So we look forward to, speaking and meeting with anybody interested at the conference coming up.
I love it. And the conference is an excellent conference. It's always packed with lots of great tips and information, and the vendors that go are very strategically tied in to the whole genre, the whole theme, which is generating more profits for your independent community pharmacy. So reach out to Matt. Set up an appointment before you go, but you'll be hearing more from Matt and the FH2 team on the Pharmacy Podcast Network. Matt, thank you so much for being our guest today on This Week in Pharmacy.
Thank you, and look forward to meeting everybody out in Dallas in a couple of weeks.
All right, go to FH2Pharma.net. That's once again, FH2Pharma.net. And we'll be talking with you soon. Thanks for listening to This Week in Pharmacy.
Let's be real. Running a pharmacy has never been more complex. Rising employment costs, the struggle to find qualified staff, and an ever-expanding scope of practice are a lot to handle. Pharmacists today don't just dispense medications, they administer vaccines, prescribe treatments, and even conduct diagnostic tests.
With all these added responsibilities, how do you keep your pharmacy running smoothly while remaining focused on patient care? Well, more and more pharmacies are turning to outsourcing, and for good reason.
Imagine offloading your administrative workload, reducing recruitment overheads, benefiting from retrenchment, and focusing more on key business activities, all while keeping your pharmacy at the top of its game. Sounds pretty great, right?
That's where PharmaStaff comes in. They specialize in non-clinical pharmacy staffing solutions, helping pharmacies streamline operations so you can focus on delivering exceptional patient care. So here's the big question. Is your pharmacy ready to explore the benefits of outsourcing? Running a pharmacy has its challenges, but what if you could streamline operations, save up to 78% on payroll costs, and focus on what truly matters most: your patients and the growth of your business.
Discover the power of pharmacy outsourcing with PharmaStaff. Their specialized pharmacy staffing solutions are designed specifically for the pharmaceutical industry, helping you reduce administrative burdens, employment expenses, and improve efficiency.
By partnering with PharmaStaff, you unlock a new level of operational excellence, allowing your team to stay focused on delivering exceptional patient care without the stress of managing back-office tasks.
Learn more about how PharmaStaff can support your pharmacy. Schedule your meeting today by visiting us at pharmastaff.com. That's pharmastaff.com.
Hey, and on This Week in Pharmacy, we're talking about some things that are really shaking up the state of Texas. And the reason why I like this so much is that it's helping our children. And it's a statement that was put out by Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. It's on Senate Bill 25. It's called Make Texas Healthy Again. And there's going to be some food additives that are going to be pulled from the state. This is kind of going back to some of the things that are happening at the federal level. But this was brought to my attention by a pharmacist out there who is a functional pharmacist. This is Dr. Tara Davis, and she is the founder of the Rooted Pharmacy. Tara, I'd like to welcome you to TWIRx.
Hey, Todd. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Hey, shout out to Dr. Christina Fontana for introducing us. And just as a little backdrop, you are actually involved in her next book. I was very honored to be in her Moving Beyond the Counter. I got to write the preface to that. She's amazing. But what's the name of her new book coming out?
Expanding Your Brilliance, Navigating Business and Motherhood. It's an anthology.
Excellent. All right. So Governor Dan Patrick, and you kind of are tied into this because you were a resident of the state of Texas for a while. Your husband was in the service. You guys were there. You really wanted to kind of dial in, but you've been functional for quite some time. Talk to us about Senate Bill 25.
Yeah, Senate Bill 25 is huge just because of the childhood obesity epidemic, ADD, ADHD, anxiety, all of these things that we're seeing show up more and more during childhood. And a lot of it has to do with how healthy our children are. And Make Texas Healthy Again is kind of the point of SB 25. Dr. Mark Hyman, he kind of headed this up with Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, but it really required food labels to warn Texans about ingredients banned in other countries. And it required PE or physical education for ages kindergarten through 8th grade, and also required that not to be part of a punishment. So removing physical education or sports is not to be a punishment anymore. So it really protects that movement as medicine. Teaching about real nutrition and metabolic health to high school students. I know that my high school education as far as nutrition went was not really there. We had all kinds of snack machines that we ate out of, and Coke and Pepsi and all kinds of stuff were available right in the main lobby. So really glad to see that this is making changes. It also is going to establish a nutrition advisory council focused on chronic disease and functional medicine for the state of Texas. So that was a really big thing as well, because functional medicine, it's less about the labs, less about the supplements, but more about functioning with our bodies and functioning as we age and really making sure that we are optimal. We're not average.
You know what,
So,
Tara, I find you extremely fascinating. A shout out to Dr. Marina Boskov, who's on our network, who has the Functional Pharmacy podcast. You're a mother and you are teaching your children at a very young age things that by the time they hit 30 and 50 and 60, it's not going to be a change for them anymore. And I think that that's important. So talk to us a little bit about some of your own practices at a child's level of learn. You're really teaching them how to eat, and the reasoning that you're teaching them is you're saying, hey, this is going to give you more sustainable energy than the sugar cereals that the kids are eating in the morning, or, you know, something that is high fructose, you know, corn syrup or whatever it is. But kind of dial into that from your own personal experiences.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge person on let's take these food groups away. We want to add things to our existing diet for our children. So, really, our breakfast looks like eggs in the morning with maybe some paleo pancakes or some almond flour pancakes. This morning, it took me 8 minutes and 17 seconds to make breakfast for my son. He sat down and ate it. So that was also nervous system regulation. He wasn't being pulled from one place to another like we all are right now in this day and age. And so just sitting down for breakfast and having a balanced breakfast full of protein, full of fiber, those are really the foundations I'm trying to set. My son is 3. So just getting him involved in some of the cooking, choosing healthy foods, and not really telling him something's unhealthy, but saying other things might make him feel better, or having him recognize when he eats an apple, he feels better than when he eats a bag of Doritos. And just having him recognize those things. I'm also writing a children's book about digestion. So I'm hoping that that starts to resonate with more kids. And also, I do a Play-Doh poop series that I'm going to push out to teachers, just talking about healthy stools, because our stools tell us a lot about what's going on in the inside where we really can't see.
It's fascinating. Promise me that you're going to come back. You're going to talk to us about this children's book when you're getting it out. I want to stay connected with you. I'm going to give you definitely a connection to Marina and get you guys together, because the coming of the new age of pharmacy is here. We're kind of at the infancy stage of it, because there's multiple things happening in pharmacy. Our payment changes, our payment systems are changing. How we're getting pharmacists paid as consultants is changing. Provider status keeps popping up in different states. And now when we put this in with the functional and the Robert Cresses of the world, and Marinas and you and the FPA, the Federation of what's the association called? The
PHA,
PHA,
Functional Medicine Pharmacy Alliance.
So this is all growing, and I know that there's going to be people that are going to dial into this, and they're going to start paying attention because of our new administration. There's always good and bad about everything, but at least the nation is really starting to pay attention to unnecessary food additives that aren't happening in Europe, but they're happening in the United States. And it's kind of like a head scratcher, like, why are we allowing this to happen? So it's the right time to see pharmacists like you rise. And I want to do everything in my power to get your voice out there and get you interconnected with other pharmacists for sure. So promise me you're going to come back.
I sure will. I would love to be back.